Hello everyone and welcome back to another FPL video. Now in today's video I'm going to be going through my game week 2 sort of transfer plans and reviewing my game week 1 team, so let's get into it. So starting off with the game week 1 team review, as you can see it didn't go all to plan obviously, but again I wouldn't say it went terribly. 4,500,000 overall rank, it's not brilliant, but again after 1 week the best advice I could give is just don't panic, because really this is where it matters obviously the least after 1 week. I think it could have gone better in areas, definitely in the attack. You know, most of the midfield I did get sort of saved by two players, which we'll get onto in a minute. But starting off with Sanchez in goal, obviously he did keep the clean sheet with the Eze disallowed goal, giving him 7 points, which I'm pretty fine with. Nico Williams, obviously Forest looked quite solid in defence. It was just a penalty that gave away the clean sheet. Pedro Porro keeping a clean sheet. To be honest, I think some of the defenders like Van der Ven and Romero did look a bit better sort of value, but you know it is what it is. We have Porro and it's an easy move, which I will be talking about in a bit. Juve, pretty disappointing to be honest. He could have scored. West Ham overall were just pretty disappointing, and yeah, not too confident owning him now after that I've seen that game, but again, not going to make any stupid transfers. He is going to stay for now. Mohamed Salah, obviously getting that goal, you know, in the last minute did save my rank a lot, did save my game week a lot. So, well, luckily he did that. Cole Palmer, to be honest, just didn't look very good. You know, he's playing in such a deep role, and for 10.5 million, I'm really not sure. And you know, if he keeps playing like that, if we're seeing blank after blank after blank again, it could be an easy sell at the start, near the start, to be honest. And one of the moves that you could do is Cole Palmer to Saka for this week, but personally, I highly doubt that's going to happen in my team. I don't see the point in doing that. But after we saw Leeds play quite well against Everton as well, I don't really see the point in doing that. But Cole Palmer could definitely be a sell, early early on if he keeps playing that deep. Morgan Rogers definitely a keep. Obviously his fixtures look great. You know, one bad week isn't going to decide, obviously, his fate in my team. Bruno Fernandes again looked very deep, but you know we knew that was going to happen. They should have had a pen, to be honest. Obviously, me being a Man United fan, it is quite annoying. We should have had a pen. On the Saliba tackle on Cunha, so that would have been an easy, near 10 points for him. He was 1 point defensive contribution away from DEFCON as well, so quite an unlucky week for Bruno, really. And I think going forward with Cunha and Burmo, Sesko in front of him, he will rack up them assists. Hopefully he'll get some penalties. Hopefully he'll get them DEFCON points. So I think overall he does still look like a good pick. Obviously the cheap bargain here, Tajani Reinders with the 10-pointer goal and an assist, and he looked absolutely amazing on his debut. And obviously he's also already risen in price, so I'm very happy to own him. Hopefully with Pep Roulette we don't get trolled and he gets benched. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but it definitely could happen. That's what I will say. Ollie Watkins, just to be honest, I was watching the game and for me he just did not play well at all. I really thought he had a bad game, to be fair, but you know, no plans to sell him. He's definitely going to stick in my team with the fixtures he's got. And hopefully, seeing how Brentford played, him and Morgan Rogers could get some attacking returns this week. João Pedro, I am a little bit worried about him. You know, with the Delap rotation. And when you look back at it, you just go, why didn't I go Chris Wood? And the thing is, I had Chris Wood in so many of my drafts. And that last pre-season game just put me off. It was the final straw where I was like, Forest just aren't looking great in attack. I really don't want to go with Chris Wood, but now I look back at it, I wish I just kept him because that would have been an extra 11 points on João Pedro. So it is annoying, but I think I'm gonna try and stick with João Pedro for now. But if he ends up getting sort of benched by Delap or anything like that, that's probably the final straw for João Pedro in my team. Dubravka on the bench, obviously just a nice 2-pointer. Good to see him playing. Anderson with the 2-pointer, no DEFCON for him. Esteve, again, not a great game for them, but it was Tottenham. You would expect that. And Mark Yu not getting on the pitch, but he is on the bench, and I think he is going to be the best 4.5 million player. So moving on to my game week 2 team selection at the moment, starting off with the defence. Robert Sanchez again in goal. I think versus West Ham away, I would rather him over Dubravka. Nico Williams again. Crystal Palace away, I'm not expecting much. Pedro Porro with Man City away, I'm not expecting much. This defence does not look great for this week, but in future weeks again, it does start looking better. Esteve, I think I am going to play him over Anderson. I don't know, it is a tight one, but again, I'm not really expecting a clean sheet from any of these. So if I can get one from maybe Sanchez or a lucky one from Esteve, I will be very, very happy. Dubravka on the bench could start, but I would rather Sanchez. Anderson again, Man U at home. I really can see Man U scoring in that game. Hopefully it being Bruno, but I can see them scoring. Juve, there's absolutely no way after that performance he's being played versus Chelsea. Moving on to the midfield, Mo Salah most likely will have my captain's armband. But if I saw more from Cole Palmer this week, it would have been him. But from what I've seen, I'm not sure. Obviously, Cole Palmer starting. Morgan Rogers versus Brentford away. I'm hoping to get something in that. Bruno Fernandes versus Fulham away. Hoping to get something in that. And Tajani Reinders. Hopefully, with Pep Roulette doesn't kick in, he does get another start and he does play how he did this week. Moving on to the attackers, obviously Mark Yu on the bench with Sunderland at home. Hopefully he can come off the bench and get some minutes. That will be promising. Ollie Watkins versus Brentford away. He does like a goal versus his old club away, and I am hoping he gets another one tomorrow. Not tomorrow, what am I on about? Next week. João Pedro with West Ham away. I just hope he starts again, to be honest. I mean, if he doesn't start, we are in trouble, or if he comes off really early and drops another stinker. But West Ham don't look great. So, I mean, there is a world where the lap starts, there really is, and that's what I will get into in a second. So, as I said, there is a world where the lap starts, and if I'm not confident on it, this is a transfer that I could make. I would have liked to go to Chris Wood, however, obviously with the price rise, it's not going to be possible. So there's always a chance I can go to Evan Nilsson with his only 2.1% ownership. While Clivert's out, I think he should be on penalties. Hopefully he can get some goals. Wolves at home is looking like a good fixture at the moment. So Evan Nilsson's definitely an option. I doubt I will do this, but I doubt I'll make any transfers in game week 2, sorry. But it's always an option. It definitely is always an option. I think Evan Nilsson probably does look a little bit better than João Pedro at the moment. The fixtures wise, I don't think it does, but the minutes wise, definitely. And I really don't trust João Pedro at the moment. I think I've got to leave it for a few weeks, see how he plays. But again, I really, really don't trust him. This is more likely the transfer I will make. This is one I've been planning since game week 1 to move to Mateta in game week 4 for that Sunderland at home fixture, and then he has West Ham away, and then I will free hit in game week 6 to get in the likes of Erling Haaland versus Burnley. So this is more likely what's going to happen. If João Pedro starts to drop in price, there's definitely a chance it happens a lot earlier, sort of game week 3, if it looks like he's going to drop. But I think this transfer will definitely happen. After one blank though, I don't think you can sort of get that annoyed and start selling your team. After game week 1, if your players are blank, like Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, maybe Cole Palmer's a bit different because he played really deep, but I just think you have to hold on to all of your players for at least another week before you start making transfers. For me, really, my game plan is to sort of hold my transfers until game week 4, and then I can make the Mateta transfer. I can maybe, if Cole Palmer's still blanking, downgrade him to someone, maybe upgrade Ollie Watkins to Erling Haaland, or try and get Erling Haaland in another way. But I don't know yet, to be honest. I am going to try roll this week. There's always the temptation to go Palmer to Saka, things like that, but I just don't think that would help me very much long term. And I don't want to make sort of transfers. I don't want to make knee-jerk transfers instantly. So I am going to try and roll, but this is most likely what's going to happen in game week 4. If João Pedro drops another stinker or gets benched, it may happen in game week 3. Anyways, that is it for now. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll be bringing you some more videos throughout this week and obviously throughout the season. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.